Hello again, everybody! Oh, look, I'm still sitting here in front of a bookshelf, which means we are returning to the story of Tiger, Catherine, Ella, and Jonathan. We are coming into Chapter 4, which is where the adventure really begins, because I ran out of backstory. So here we go. Chapter 4. No one to answer. Oh. Why would they pretend to be kidnapped? Why would they just leave us all alone like that? Ella asked as she was walking down the road to the Tower of Sorfila with Jonathan and Catherine. Sorfila? I was really terrible at naming things. Clearly I was just thinking of the name Sophia and put some extra letters in there. Sorfila. Ugh. Yeah, Catherine, Jonathan said. I think you're absolutely insane. I mean, he's not wrong. The chance of our parents just leaving us out of the blue and pretending to be kidnapped is exactly... He thought for a moment. 8,324 to 1 against. Did I think that was witty? That may be, but that still leaves that chance of them leaving. I mean, they both wrote the same note at the same time, and they both disappeared together. They could be going on some secret vacation or something, Catherine argued. That's stupid, Catherine, Jonathan pointed out. Yes, it is. Yes, it is stupid. Jonathan's right, Catherine. Our parents wouldn't just make up a story about us having to go on a journey. They care too much about our safety, Ella added. Fine, Catherine finally gave in. I guess they wouldn't. The three children walked in silence for a few moments. Ella, what exactly happened to your parents? Catherine asked. Jonathan looked nervously at Ella. I mean, both of our parents were kidnapped. But you never said if yours were. Oh, Ella said quietly. My father was killed a few years ago by one of Tiger's evil friends. They used dark magic against him, when they knew he couldn't even defend himself. He didn't have magic blood, by the way, Catherine. I take after him. What? Apparently she can't do magic. Muggles. And my mother was killed just last night by Tiger and Phil. She looked down at the ground sadly. What did they do this time? Jonathan asked angrily. They used an unhealable curse, Ella replied, holding back tears. Next they'll be after me, I suppose. After they killed Father so easily, I expect they'll think I'd be even easier, since I'm a girl and I'm younger than them. The age is really what concerns you? It makes me feel so vulnerable. Don't worry, Ella, Catherine said gently. I can't use much magic either. Although I can't say I know how you feel having an evil brother. Just rub it in, why don't you? But I still feel pretty vulnerable sometimes. Catherine, this is not about you. Catherine, Jonathan said, a bit annoyed. You're not helping. Jonathan seems to know what I'm thinking at all times. Especially regarding Catherine being stupid. Sorry, Catherine replied sheepishly. They continued walking in silence for a while. Ella, how long does it take to get to the tower? Catherine asked. I don't know. That's a question to ask Jonathan. Do you know Jonathan? Ella replied. Jonathan thought for a moment, then answered, From here, it should take us about 4 days to get there. 4 days? Catherine shouted. 4 days until I can see my parents again? Till I can go back to living normally? Why does it have to be so far away? She groaned. I'm gonna guess that she's probably not gonna live normally after she goes on this adventure, because she's gonna learn some major lesson and, everything will be different for her once she returns. Well, we could go the long way and then it would take 10 days if that's what you want, Jonathan replied smugly. Catherine glared at him. So witty. Calm down, you two. Now, it's getting pretty late, and we've been walking for a while. Why don't we find a place to stop for the night? Ella suggested. The other two suddenly noticed how weary they were, and agreed quickly. They found a spot among the trees to set up camp. As they sat next to the roaring fire, all three were thinking the same thing. Will I ever see my parents again? They were sitting in silence, staring, unseeing, into the flames. Finally, Catherine spoke up, unable to keep quiet, as usual. Why do we have so many questions and nobody to answer them? I know we have Jonathan along, and he knows more than I'll ever know. Well, that was nice of her. But we have questions that only a few people can answer. You won't admit it, but you do. Even Jonathan does. That's confusing. They stared at her. We have to find this hill of magic. It will somehow answer all of our questions, she went on. I don't care what I said before. about our parents planning this. I know we have to go on this journey to learn what our parents learned before us." "What a revelation." "Wow," Jonathan said mockingly. "That was wise of you." Catherine glared at him again. Once again, Jonathan knows what I'm thinking all the time. "Guys, this is no time for a fight," Ella spoke up. "Catherine's right. We have to go on." Were they thinking of not going on? I wasn't doubting her. I just didn't expect her to say something like that. Jonathan barked on his own behalf. "Ruff!" Catherine rolled her eyes. "I can tell this trip is going to be pleasant," she muttered sarcastically. "Don't you know it?" As they set out the next morning after a troubled sleep, all three children were strangely quiet. Suddenly Catherine heard a noise. "What was that?" she asked, terrified that something was following them. "I didn't hear anything," Ella said, a little nervous. "Did you, Jonathan?" "No," he replied. "Miss Dimwit over here must be hearing things." I have always loved the word dimwit. "What's with you?" Catherine said, beginning to get irritated with Jonathan. "What did I do to make you hate me so much?" "Oh, some time when you were yelling at me." "Oh, yes, last night, outside my house," Jonathan replied. The stupidest argument of all time, and Jonathan still will not get over it. "I had just had a horrible day. Anyone would be mad after having a day like I had, and I even forgave you. It's not my fault you hold grudges." My mom's calling. Hello? Okay, anyway, where was I? "I don't hold grudges. I have a perfectly good reason to hate you." "No, you don't." "Okay, that's it. I can't deal with this anymore." She made a move to punch him, but Jonathan grabbed her arm, and suddenly she found herself flat on her back. That escalated quickly. "That's what happens when you mess with a black belt. You wind up on your back," Jonathan said smugly while stepping over Catherine with a satisfied grin. Apparently they have karate in this world. Catherine scowled at him, and Ella sighed. She knew that she was going to have a tough time keeping her two friends from killing each other. Is she really friends with Catherine? It seems more like a relationship of convenience and necessity than friendship, because they've known each other for like 12 hours. "All right, here's the deal," Ella said finally after walking for a short way while Catherine and Jonathan glared at each other. "You," she grabbed Catherine's arm and dragged her to one side of her, "are going to walk over here. And you," she grabbed Jonathan and dragged him to her other side, "are going to walk over here. This way, I can at least keep you from killing each other while we're walking." They walked a short way without any incidents, but suddenly Ella stopped short in the middle of the road. "Did you hear that?" she asked uneasily. "No," Jonathan said. "Honestly, Ella, I think you two are beginning to go insane." "Well, I heard it," Catherine remarked in Ella's defense. The noise came again, louder this time. There it was again," Catherine exclaimed. Do you think someone's following us?" Ella asked anxiously. Now she has a stutter? Okay. "No," Jonathan answered, becoming slightly annoyed. "You two are just hearing things." "Well, maybe you're just going deaf then, eh, Jonathan?" Catherine retorted. "Ooh!" Jonathan ignored her as they continued walking again. The noise came yet again, this time even louder. Guys, I think we're being followed," Ella stuttered quietly. "Yeah, even I heard it this time," Jonathan exclaimed. "Let's hide and see if anybody comes," Catherine suggested. "If you're being followed, they're going to see you hiding." That's not how that works. They walked more cautiously and ready to defend themselves in case of attack. Well, good thing they've got Jonathan, who's a black belt in something. The noise got louder and louder until a figure jumped out of the bushes. All three children screamed and jumped backwards. Catherine tripped, landing on Ella, who fell backwards onto Jonathan, who fell into the dirt. The friends lay huddled in fear on the ground while the figure stepped slowly toward them. Whoever you are, leave us alone!" Catherine made an effort at being brave, but her voice was weak and unconvincing. Do people really get stutters when they're nervous like that? I don't know. Like, I could see Ella doing that, because she's generally kind of a nervous person, but I don't see Catherine stuttering like that. Apparently I just thought that was the way you showed anxiety. "Go away!" Jonathan attempted to get the stranger to leave. "State your business and go." Wow. Go away, because that's gonna work. "I am sorry to have frightened you, children of the magic, but I could not let you see me in the open," the stranger said in a strange, misty tone that calmed the children instantly. "But, ma'am, we're still very much out in the open," Catherine pointed out. She really knows what's going on. You had no need to scare us out of our wits hiding in the bushes like that. It didn't really help anything because we're still... Catherine, Jonathan interrupted. What? Shut up. Sorry. Calm, children. I like it when I tried to be profound, because it just turns out to be hilarious. The stranger intervened. For you do not know of the regions of the land. Regions is capitalized, because that makes it really important. She began to explain to them. The region that you have just left is the Sorfila region. Why is the Tower of Sorfila not in the Sorfila region? That's stupid. Why would you have that stupid name in more than one place? We cannot risk being seen there because it is there that the malevolent exist. The capital M, of course. You children live in the Sorfila region, and it is the malevolent that you must stop. Oh, here we go. If our region is called the Sorfila region, then why is the Tower of Sorfila not in it? Catherine asked. There we go. Glad my characters are thinking the same thing as I am. The woman hesitated. I do not know, she replied. Well, way to be the character of wisdom I wanted her to be. But we are now in the Togan region. That's not bad. I can live with Togan. This is where the tower resides. Once we have left the Sorfila region, malevolent eyes cannot see me. For in all regions, apart from those controlled by dark magic, I have powers more influential than any malevolent. Why is it that you don't have powers in the Sorfila region? Ella asked, very confused. But Jonathan was soaking up the information like a sponge. Actually, I wrote like the sponge, but I'm assuming I meant a sponge, because, you know, it's not a specific sponge. Is it because of the malevolent? He asked. Wow, what a revelation. I really wasn't sure what she meant. Yes, the woman replied. You are a very smart child, Jonathan of Frinda. The malevolent have taken nearly all of the benevolent power in Sorfila. That is why you cannot use much magic in Frinda. How can the tower be used by the malevolent, then, if it's in a benevolent-controlled region? Jonathan asked. Again, she hesitated. I do not know that either, the woman replied a little too quickly. Oh, she knows. She knows. But for various reasons, it is controlled by dark magic. So is each country its own region? Catherine asked. Oh, I thought Frinda was a town. That's a small country. Good grief. No. The regions overlap into different countries. You are no longer in Frinda, but in Noka, in the Togan region, as I said before. Beyond Noken... Oops, I wonder if I meant Noka or Noken. I don't know why I didn't notice that. Beyond Noken, in Ritna... That sounds like retina in your eyeball. Is the Unkona region. That's almost worse than Sorfila. And beyond Ritna is Imidies. I don't know how to say that. In the Vonoa region. You will go no farther than that on your journey. Are any other regions controlled by the, malevolent? Ella asked quietly. Yes. The Unkona region. Oh, that's just horrific. The Unkona region is controlled by the malevolent. There are more, but you will not cross into them on your quest. You will find what you seek in Imidies, of course, the one that I can't pronounce. I must leave you now, but I will be with you throughout your journey, in spirit. That's not written, but I think it's implied. With that, the strange woman suddenly disappeared, leaving no trace that she was there except her footprints in the dirt, which soon vanished with the next breeze. Well, that woman sure was mysterious. I wonder if she ever comes back. So, Catherine said, where to now? Well, that woman said that the tower's in the Togan region, so I guess we'll go find it, Ella answered. Really? I thought that maybe you would go somewhere else now that she explained everything to you. What are we waiting for, then? Catherine asked. The two girls began walking, but after a moment they realized that Jonathan was not following. What are you doing, Jonathan? Ella inquired. Don't you find it kind of odd that she knew my name? Jonathan was obviously deep in thought. Well, with one of her power, you never know what they could tell you, Catherine answered, not needing to ask who she was. Who else would he be talking about? That is a really unnecessary distinction. I was doing really well there for a while. I suppose, but even Tiger or Phil wouldn't know that if they didn't know who I was, or at least I don't think they would. You never know, John, considering how much power they're gaining. Why are they talking about Tiger and Phil? it's not necessary whether Tiger or Phil would do that. They're wondering about this mystery woman. Clearly she's very magical if she disappeared into thin air like that. I don't think they really need to worry about why she knew Jonathan's name, because she's magic enough to disappear on the spot. Now, are you going to hold us back because you're in awe at a powerful person who knew your name? Ella asked. People like that woman always know everybody's name. That's how powerful they are. Thank you, Ella. Now come on. We only have 2 weeks until Phil... She let the sentence hang there. Jonathan sighed, but he followed the girls anyway. Wait for me, he called, and dashed down the road to catch up. That is the end of Chapter 4. Overall, not bad. A couple of stupid things, and, the continuation of the absurd argument between Jonathan and Catherine that should have never happened in the first place. But, not bad. The writing's not terrible. The story's sort of moving along a little bit now that there's not quite so much backstory going on. That mysterious woman was a little exciting. We'll see where things go in our next installment. Until next time, don't forget to subscribe if you like my face and the words coming out of it. And if you want to see more of these videos, please let me know. And hopefully I will get back to you with more real content soon. Bye!